Yo people, welcome to the driving tips. In this episode we'll be taking on the most basics of basics, meaning the cornering stuff. Now, if someone wants to learn all on his own just to have one single tip, then all I can say is try driving in the most straight line as possible. That's it. That's exactly everything you need to know. That's the most important thing in cornering, driving in the most straight line. And why is that so important? Well, I've come up with a little simple demonstration that will explain it properly. Now this is how car accelerates when going in a straight line, and this is how car accelerates when cornering. See the difference? Straight line, cornering, straight line, cornering. If you still don't get it, and just repeat that, repeat until you'll get it. Now for those that got it, I'll start the proper tutorial. So where lies the trick? How is it possible that we don't crash? Where lies the magic of it? Well, I'll show you. First thing is to know that we start every corner from the outside. The reason for that is very simple, because you can maintain the most straight line through the entire corner. To demonstrate it more clearly, I bring up some image. Sorry for the shitty quality. Now this shows three lines. Yellow is the racing line, the proper one. Red is the oops line, which is the proper way, but entering the corner a bit too soon. And the black one is the one made by me, and it shows how fucked up it is to start from the inside of the corner. Now when we compare the yellow line with the black line, we can see that the yellow line is more straight than the black one, because the black one is like a small wheel and the yellow one is like a big wheel. Now this may sound weird right now, but try drawing a gigantic wheel and try drawing a very small wheel near to it, and you'll see that the smaller one is like a very tight corner, while the big wheel is like a gigantic, well, straight in fact for a car. And that difference, even though it's smaller here than in the example I told you, it does matter. It has a great impact on how fast you can do the corner. If you do the racing line, you'll have the best speed possible in that corner, but if you do the black line, you'll have the worst speed possible in that corner. Now the red line shows that even if you start the corner from the outside, if you start it too soon, then you won't be able to drive in a straight line, meaning when you hit the apex, you'll be seeing the corner, not the straight after it, and that's not what we want. If you do it the proper way, then after you hit the apex, you'll be seeing the straight after the corner, and that's what you want, so you can dish out as fast as possible from that corner. And with the red line, you'll be just hitting wall, or you'll just have to brake and go into the corner more properly, but that's of course a waste of speed, time, and that's not what anyone wants. So moving on, we go to the apex point. Now this is the point on the inside of the corner from which we start going again to the outside of the corner, meaning we start actually to accelerate again. Of course there are some corners like this which you will lose speed even after that point because of some terrain problems, but overall after this point you go to the outside of the corner and you dish that power as much as possible. That's the usual stuff, just like shown here. Of course it's preferable to go to the outside as much as possible and start from the outside as much as possible, but sometimes you will have to trade a bit of the outside for more straight line, because on the highways, let's say, because that's where it mostly happens, You don't need to start from the other end of the highway to simply go in a straight line through something that looks like a corner. You can start from about the middle of it. Sometimes, of course, you need to go to the outside, but in the highways you don't need. You mostly can drive on the middle part. Just keep it the most straight as possible, not outside, mid, apex, outside. Straight, not the thing. To put it in other words, you just have to keep it straight as possible, not as bookish as possible. Meaning, don't always go by the book, just go as straight as possible and as straight as you think you can. That's the thing. The straight. You need to go in a straight line. So if you can't go in a straight line, you try to go from the outside, but keep it the most straight as possible. Outsides can help you, but are not always needed. Now, about chicanes. Use them just like a normal corner, but instead of going to the outside of it, you go to the apex of the next one. It's a very simple yet effective thing, like here. Apex, apex, and another apex. Just go through the apex. It's almost in a straight line. There are some chicanes that can be done in a straight line. Don't need any cornering there. Now those were short corners, but how about long 180s? Those are technically done in the same way. You start from the outside, go through the apex, and again to the outside. The only problem here is it's longer to do each part, meaning you need to have more patience. So you need to know when that apex is. As to the very long corners, like this one, you just need to keep to the inside all the time. You can start from the outside, but you need to keep to the inside. Now exactly the same things apply to their short versions, meaning outside, apex, outside. The same. The only thing is that you'll be slower in them, because the shorter the corner is, the slower you'll be in it. And keep in mind that if you want to trade your racing line for overtake, you may be overtaken out the outside of the corner, just like here. So keep that in mind, that it's sometimes better to keep your racing line and overtake someone on the straight behind it than to overtake him in the corner. If you want to overtake someone in the corner, your racing line has to be better than his, just like here. Otherwise you don't stand a chance on overtaking in the corner. That's all for this episode. I'll be going into more details of all the other things in the future episodes, so everything should be discussed there is to discuss. So thanks for watching. If you have any comments, post them in the comment thing below. Also, a great thanks to one and only Gilak. So thanks for watching and see ya.